would make it hard for him to make friends once there. She had spent the past few months trying to break open his shell, encouraging him to play Deng Bi or Deng Dao with the other children of the village by the banyan tree. "No, please," he would say, half hiding behind her. "I'd rather stay with you." Their mum pulled him up from his bed, his hands outstretched and holding on to hers. "Come on, Dao," she said as she picked him up. "Your brothers need to finish packing." Together they left the brothers' bedroom, and as they passed Anne, Mum asked, "Are you done? I could use your help with dinner." "Yes, Ma," Anne said, stuffing her rucksack with the remaining pieces of clothing spread out on her bed. As she followed them into the adjacent kitchen, her mother released Dao from her arms. "Can I help too?" he asked. Their mother gently brushed the hair off his face and said, "No, there's no tasks for little boys tonight. You can go in the living room with your father." He nodded, disappointed, and after glancing at Anne with his round eyes, he went to the living room. Anne suspected that her mother had wanted a moment alone with her in the kitchen, to treasure an instant with her eldest daughter before her leaving. Her baby brother, Vuong, was asleep in his cot, lulled by the rhythmic sounds of his mother's cooking, clinking pans and simmering oils. Anne stirred the pork as her mother chopped the fermented cabbage into small chunks, a tremble in her hand. It was as if they were acting a scene, a normal midweek evening, the kitchen their stage and the pots and pans their props. But as the two of them moved around the small space, they avoided one another's gaze, their usual chatter reduced to the occasional instruction. "Make sure you get the scraps at the bottom of the pan. And add a bit of nyok chem." Several times Anne saw her mother opening her lips as if to speak, as if to let out a thought that had been weighing on her, but only sighs would come out. Her younger sisters, Mai and Vin, were setting the table, carefully juggling stacks of bowls and plates in their small hands, their long hair flowing behind them, the tap of their bare feet scarcely audible. While doing so, they revised their school lessons of the day. 4 times 4, 16. 4 times 5, 20. 4 times 6, 24. They recited in a sing-along voice, one of them making the occasional mistake, the other one telling her off for it. 28, not 26, Vin said to Mai as they made their way back to the kitchen. Anne plated up the pork, steam rising from the pan, and handed them each a dish. They liked bringing the food to the table because they could snatch a few bits along the way, crumbs on their white vests giving them away. Sure enough, once they were out of sight, Anne heard Mai say, "That's too big a piece," while Vin shushed her. At the back of the living room, her father sat by the home altar, his back crouched, while Dao watched him attentively from the worn-out leather sofa. The altar was adorned with framed photos of their grandparents. There was Ung No and Ba No standing in front of their house and looking sternly at the camera, a newborn Vin in their arms. In the background was their neighbour's chicken, roaming on Vuong Tham's dry and dark soil, their laundry hanging between their kitchen window and the nearby palm tree. There was Bang Wai, posing by an ornate staircase at her daughter's wedding, small heels on her feet and her hair in a bun. And there was Ung Wai, looking like an old Hollywood star in his close-up portrait, his white teeth showing and his hair barely grey. The 4 of them had died successively in the last 3 years, after Saigon had fallen and the last soldiers had gone back to America, like a gust of wind rippling through waning leaves. By then, they were old and weary, and their deaths hadn't come as a surprise. But the rapid pace made Anne wonder if the war had had something to do with it, if hope could be a source of life, and its vanishing a harbinger of death. With the back of his sleeve, Anne's father wiped the dust off the portrait of his mother, inspecting the frame by the candlelight. Once he was satisfied with its cleanness, he put it down.